Oh, mate, tell them they're dreaming. Hey, everybody. Anthony, 4x4 diesel and petrols. This is our V6 doing a bit of work on. I'm going to give you the reasons why, what we're doing, spending some money because it runs well and we want to keep it running that way, although it's an older vehicle, so expect anything. Anything could go wrong at any time. There's no guarantees, but a bit of preventive maintenance. I've been doing some homework trying to source these bearings and stuff. Some people might find it easy, some people might find it hard, but I've basically spent hours today speaking to people from bearing shops, getting the runaround with slightly different numbers. Bearings that'll fit, but different numbers, which can mean different grease, different speeds and different longevity. So you need it to be the same or better, certainly not a downgrade. So I'm going to give you the rundown on where we're at the moment. And I'm going to say, actually, if anybody's got a V6, that's fairly, stock standard like this with a, easy to work on, no bull bar, that we can easily just get in here. And if you want to do what I've done to your 120 V6 and make it last, and I really don't think there's going to be that many people with them that are watching the videos that want to do the maintenance. They're just going to run them into the ground, and that's the way it's going to go, which is the way this one was headed. I just sort of grab a V6 for the collection for something different. Works out well because my daughter, she's got her, this one's earmarked over here, so that one's going to go, but it's not going too far. So this is going to be the replacement 120 that I can put some of the gear on and use it as a bit of a touring vehicle, spare vehicle, whatever. You can see a bit of corrosion around. We're going to work on that as well. There's different products to clean that up, and not a big urgency, but we're going to have a bit of a crack at that with this job while we got it off with some different product, but it might be a separate video. There is another video on this one before this one, and now I've done the homework and now I've come back to you with the feedback. I'm not sure where we're at in the other video. We changed the water pump, so that's that shiny thing in behind there. Goes in behind the pulleys. Sort of easy for people that are mechanically apt, but can be quite difficult for someone that's not used to working on vehicles, which is what I'm about to say. If you have got one of these vehicles and you want me to do what I'm going to call the BFE job on the V6, and I'll tell you what that is, you're welcome to book it in at the Prada Hospital here at Hillside after the 10th of November, but within 2 or 3 weeks if you want to get it done. Otherwise it's going to wait till next year, because what I would like to do is a number of these V6s fresh, not like, I've done this many years ago when we used to see more V6s. They've just dropped off, whatever the case may be, busy paying for fuel. I joke around with that, but it's a bit of a serious thing too. Not getting them serviced properly, just taking them anywhere, and they think they can get away with that. It's just not going to last forever if you do that. So water pump, drive belt, because the drive belt stretches. I'll show you all the old stuff in a minute. Some new pulleys, looking at sourcing some bearings. I'm going to give you the information. Look, at the moment, I have been quoted anything up to about $50 per bearing, which is absolutely ridiculous for a ball bearing. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. 20 bucks, mate. 10, 15, 20, 30, 50, you're dreaming. 45, 42, all of that, right? Oh, plus GST, whatever, right? So this is where we're at with this one. It's got a new genuine water pump. It's got 3 new genuine pulleys. So it's got that one new, the one at the bottom, which is different to this one, and the one at the top here, which is the same as the one over here. So that one and that one, same. The one at the bottom, it's a very thick bearing, might be a double bearing. I've also been told, not sure if it's right yet or not, I've got to pull the old one apart, that the bearing that's in here and here, there's one in each, but there's 2 of those. There's one of each of those, 2 of those in this one down here. But what I've just done, I've replaced the bearing behind this one here on the tensioner, because the tensioner is the expensive component that we don't see any issues with, that we don't need to replace. What we see issues with is leaking water pumps. We don't want that. Drive belts that stretch so they're out of range. We don't want that, although you don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'll show you the condition of the old one. Bearings, many years ago, I used to have people coming in with noisy bearings, That one in particular is down low. That one down there, you can get aftermarket cheap stuff, might not last. You can supposedly get bearings, different brands and different model numbers, but I'm working on getting exact same OE replacements. Might not work out. I've done this before and it hasn't worked out, which is why we don't have a BFE kit, but I'm going to try a bit harder. And all these different V6s, 120s, 150s, I think there's a few different pulleys. So what I want to do is get freshly familiar with all these engines and the pulleys so that I can go, yep, we can put a kit together and know that everything's the same, or can we take the pulley off this engine and put it on another engine? It'll do. It's like we'll call it superseded, if you like. We'll just put the later one, the better one, on all the vehicles. The pulleys, you know, from Toyota, I think they're about $100 each with the bearing in them. There's different ways to do things. The savings buying them overseas wasn't really much compared to our trade price. So I just got everything local. And like I said, I've just got the bearing for that pulley. So that's done and dusted. It's all pretty much back together. Just got 2 nuts holding that pulley in place. They'll come off again, and then the fan shroud and everything will go on. We've got a brand new genuine radiator. Because let's have a look at the old one. You can see this is what they normally look like. That's one that's in good condition. And this one was pretty well in good condition. It is genuine Toyota box. And here's the radiator, not in bad condition. It's a current spare at the moment. But see how they deteriorate. This is the top radiator hose. Plenty of people have had this snap off. And I don't want to snap it off really, because this is kind of a good spare. It's genuine, it's cheap, it's in, like I said, pretty good condition overall. But I'd rather sort of test it a bit. And that's not going anywhere anytime soon. This hasn't broken off, but the hotter the conditions, the more likely it's gonna deteriorate and possibly have an issue. So this is our spare. It'll go back in the box. All the transmission coolers all sealed up beautifully. And then the fan shroud just sitting there. Nothing wrong with the fan. The fan doesn't need anything. It'll be fine. Just cleaned up, ready to go back on. Mighty V6. Glad I got the V6, they said. Anyway, there's plenty of things to do on the V6 to make sure it doesn't. You don't have to do the injectors, but there's a lot of other things you do have to do, like the sender units in the fuel tanks, the radiator. Let's have a look at that old drive belt. Got a few old components here. Let's just have a bit of a look at everything. So this is the drive belt. You can see the condition of it. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit stretched. And that's why I say use genuine parts. That's done, as far as I know, nearly 300,000 Ks. How good is that? Right, so that's the bearing that got pressed out. Yeah, you can look up the size, you can look up the number, you can have a Google. You might get one, you might not. Same with this. As I said, there's 2 of those the same as each other. And inside here, see, it just looks different. So I've got to pull it apart. I don't know if that's just a cover over it. Or what the go there is, because that looks a lot different to that one. I know this is definitely a single, and this looks like it's the same thickness as 2 of those, but I've got a feeling it's not actually 2 of those, because this one isn't. It could be some wider double row. It's got a different, so I'm going to push it out and have a bit of a look and see if we can figure out what it is. But I do suspect that 2 of these will fit that, if you know what I mean. But at the cost involved, $50 each, I think these trade price at the dealer were maybe around 60, 70 bucks, and you get a whole new pulley. So these are my spares. I'll try and get some bearings into them, and I'll do some more R&D, and I'll let you know what we work out. Here's the dirty old water pump. It's not that dirty and old. It's a great gasket that wasn't leaking. Comes with a couple of O-rings. You can see pretty clean inside, so that'll be the condition of the engine cooling system. Just a preventive maintenance changeover. Little bit of work involved. I'm just sharing the information so far and trying to round up maybe a few BFE jobs on V6s, which will entail, you might need to leave the car a few days, because if I've got to chase bearings, it's going to be a bit of a learning model. So we're going to have to chase water pumps. We're going to change the water pump, all the bearings on the idlers, check and or replace. If you want to do cheaper, we can probably use aftermarket, but not my recommendation. They're genuine belt, because you saw how long it lasts. Funnily enough, made by Mitsubishi. Anyway, EPDM quality rubber. Bloody awesome. Doesn't matter who makes it. Just like Mitsubishi make good air cons, right? I don't know about their cars, but let's not go there in this video. Water pump, 4 idlers, all bearings, belt is part of the job. Cleaning out the radiator or replacing the radiator, up to you after what you've seen. You might want to consider subscribing, turning the bell on, and not missing this info. A lot of people didn't know about this stuff, and they've had major engine problems, catastrophic failures with this engine. It's an awesome engine, but like every engine, you need to understand what the pitfalls are and what maintenance needs to be done to avoid it. You want to keep your cooling system in 100% condition, because you don't want to be doing heads on these. You don't want to have blocked oil pickups. It's going to ride off your block, You don't want to have corrosion on the block. It's all alloy. It's going to be problems. You don't want to have radiators snapping off here, whatever. So a fresh radiator, this is the stuff that I'm recommending, because that's what I do and what I recommend. If you want to try and get your vehicle in, contact me in the morning on the 10th of November if you've got a V6 that you want to do, let's call it the BFE job. And we've got the variables, you know, we've got the genuine, or you want to get an aftermarket radiator, okay? You want to get an eBay special, okay? You want to get the aftermarket pulleys, no worries, we can just do it properly. What's the labour going to be? It's unknown. We don't know exactly. It's going to depend on all these variables, and whether we have to get the whole pulley or whether we can source bearings. We want to do R&D. We want to get good at it. So then what we can do is provide even more accurate information with bearing part numbers, or you can't actually get, in a lot of cases, Toyota don't want you to be able to buy that bearing in that pulley, because they want you to buy that tensioner for $400 or whatever it is, right? But you might be able to get it. But you might be able to get one that's just as good or better with a different number on it. I don't know. This is where we're doing the homework. I hope you understand where I'm headed with this. Once we work it all out, if we work it all out, we'll put a BFE kit together. It won't include the radiator. That'll be grab it from you wherever, depending what your options are. But we might put a BFE kit together if we can source the right bearings for you and put it all together and know that it's the same one that's going to suit all these V6s, or there's maybe only two different. We can go water pump if all the water pumps are the same, drive belt, bearings. It's going to be pretty straightforward, small kit, but it's going to be, you know, quite a few $100s anyway. It's going to all add up, that's for sure. Could be like the other BFE kits, $700-800 worth delivered to your door. Not too sure yet, but I'm letting you know where it's at. We're onto it. We're looking. We're doing the homework again. We did this years ago. It didn't work out, and I'm putting the call out now, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't hear from anyone with a V6 that wants to get this work done, because that's just where it's at. Most of the vehicles out there are diesels, and yeah, we love the diesels, don't we, everyone? So we've got a bit of a fight going on between petrol and diesel here, you know, diesel, petrol. And I'm kind of like in the middle because I've got both, but I love both, to be honest, but they both need the maintenance. Anyway, on that note, I think that's enough yakking on this one. You know where it's at. Subscribe, turn the bell on if you want the next bit of news that comes out, and we'll catch you in the next video. See ya.